Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. That is to say, in the name of God, most gracious, most merciful. This is Alim Muhammad. And as I start this video, I say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. That is to say, I bear witness there is no God but Allah, and that Muhammad is his last servant and messenger. Here we are again tonight with another quick video in the attributes of Allah, the attributes, the power of Allah, the power of God, for my Muslim, Christian, and Jewish brothers and sisters, and all believers and non-believers, all human beings. And I hope those who don't believe would come to believe that there's no mighty power except with God Almighty. In the Arabic language saying, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. And there's no God but God, saying, La ilaha illallah. There's no God but God. And the only one who can help us is God Almighty. Anyway, to be quick and not too fast, but hopefully to help someone and hopefully help myself and others, I'm coming with an attribute called Al-Aakhir. Al-Aakhir. It's kind of like long A, like two A's, elongated. The aleph, it's the fatah, it's elongated. Al-Aakhir. But to help those who do not speak Arabic, not even as much as I do, the little that I do, it means the last. You can say the last. Just simply say the last. Who is the last? The last of anything and all things. It's God Almighty. He's going to be there. When they all get through talking, he is the last. Whatever you go to, he's the last. When we get to him, he's the last. The creation is still expanding. And when they find out, they're going to see he's the last. All the expansion is going on, he is the last. He is Al-Aakhir. Al-Aakhir. He is Al-Aakhir. Some may pronounce it Al-Aakhir. Al-Aakhir. Some may say Al-Aakhir. They may pronounce it like that, Al-Aakhir. But I'm saying Al-Aakhir is the best I can pronounce it. And it could be in some narrations, they say, this is no, the brother meant Al-Aakhir. But it was Al-Aakhir. 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 And that's the last. You know what the last means. Those who do not speak Arabic, those who speak other languages, Spanish and Asian and other native languages, African, Swahili, etc. This Al-Aakhir is how you call on God Almighty. And it says, he who repeats this name fragrantly will not only lead a happy life in this world, but will also have a happy ending. He who repeats this name fragrantly, it says that he who repeats this name fragrantly will not only lead a happy life in this world, but will also have a happy ending. He or she will also have a happy ending. If you always say Al-Aakhir, just go around, just say it to yourself sometime. You have to say it out loud, I don't think, but pronounce it, the last. Say the last. This is the last. Who are you talking about, though? Who are you thinking about? You're thinking about the Almighty. You're not thinking about Jesus, alayhi salam. You're not thinking about Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You're not, well, you might be thinking about Muhammad because it was given to Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, by the angel Gabriel, to tell me, to let us know about Al-Aakhir. I want to say something about Al-Aakhir real quick, and it ain't going to be long, hopefully, these videos, speaking about these attributes, because it's 99 that I know of, that I'm familiar with, that I've been enlightened about. 99, and whoever learns those 99 is going to go to paradise, will enter paradise, will be blessed to end in paradise, their life. But this one tonight, Al-Aakhir, just saying it, Al-Aakhir. It says in the Holy Quran, he is the first and the last. It says in the Holy Quran, it says he is the first and the last, and the outward and the inward. And he is the knower of all things. You can read that yourself or Google chapter 57, verse 30 of the Holy Quran. He is the first and the last, and the outward and the inward. He's the outward and the inward. And he is knower of all things. He is knower of all things. This is God Almighty. It's really important. Al-Aakhir. This is a thicker, a remembrance. And it says, he who repeats this name frequently will not only lead a happy life in this world, but will also have a happy ending. So you want to say that the last, oh, you Christians and Jews and Muslims too. But the Muslim can say Al-Aakhir because he's trying to speak the Arabic, the pure language. It has more meaning to it. It's bigger than what we know. Don't forget that. It is bigger than what we know. It's not just simply the last. It's tied to eternity. What is the last? That's the eternity. He is eternity. It's God Almighty. That's how you seek help. And we always call on some kind of entity to help us or some kind of force to help us being in the human race. They got it wrong. Because the prophets, peace be upon them all, told us to honor nothing but God Almighty, Ahad, one God. Prophet Muhammad told us, Muslim that today, but Abraham told us that. Moses told us that. Noah told us that. All the prophets, peace be upon them all. I can go to Ezekiel. I can go to Jeremiah and the biblical scriptures. And these prophets talked about God Almighty. Jesus told about God Almighty. He said he can do nothing without God Almighty. He said that and told us about the commandments. So he told us, oh, ye Christians, listen to me and hear me. Al-Aakhir means the last. He who calls on this name, or just say he who repeats this name. He who repeats this name frequently will not only lead a happy life in this world, but will also have a happy ending. Don't forget that. And I'm going to say, he who remembers his Lord, it's a hadith. It's called a saying of Prophet Muhammad, one of the sayings for your Muslim brothers and sisters. And it's for Christians too, if you want to believe it. It says in a hadith, at least this is in Bukhari, it's in Bukhari. It says, he who remembers his Lord and he who does not are like the living and the dead. Real powerful. He who remembers his Lord and he who does not are like the living and the dead. You remember God. You remember Allah. So try to remember him always. That's in Bukhari, by the way. Bukhari in Muslim. It's in what's called a hadith. For those who don't know, the Muslims know what hadith means. It's in Bukhari and Muslim. But remember Al-Aakhir. 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 Remember Al-Aakhir. Just try to remember that. But we get in the Holy Quran, it tells in the Quran, it's similar to what the hadith I just gave you, something in the Quran that says similar to this. It says, then remember me, I will remember you. That's in chapter 2, verse 152 in the Holy Quran for your Muslims. And Christians can read it too. And it tells us something that's really, really powerful. In Tanami, it's called a hadith called a saying, Tanami and Ibn Majah. Ibn Majah and Hami, Tirmidhi, and Ibn Majah. It says, I am with my servant when he remembers me, and his lips move making mention of me. That's in Bukhari. Prophet Muhammad said, a man does nothing more calculated. It says a man, this is what Prophet Muhammad said, he said, a man does nothing more calculated to rescue him from Allah's punishment than making mention of Allah. Now that's in Timothy and Ibn Majah, you'll find that. The first hadith I gave you was in Bukhari. I am with my servant when he remembers me and his lips move making mention of me. It's subhanAllah. This is Al-Aakhir. 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 You said something like that, or I made a mistake. We all make mistakes. I said Al-Aakhir. Al-Aakhir. The last. I want you to remember that, family and friends. I want you to think about that and not to make this a long video for to carry people on too far into their day, into their evening. But I want to keep giving you these so that you can remember that I can remember. And hopefully my family will get this and you will gather this and we will all benefit. But remember this one Just one attribute. It's called the attribute of God Almighty. It's Al-Aakhir. It means the last. If you remember the last, who was the last? And you remember the benefit of it, the benefit of it. He who repeats this name frequently will not only lead a happy life in this world, but will also have a happy ending. Don't we all want that? Don't we all want a happy ending? We all want a happy ending. We all want to have a happy ending. I don't know nobody in their right mind who doesn't want a happy ending. And so this just says that you will have a happy ending if you repeat this name frequently. Just do it frequently. It's like the others I told you to repeat. It's benefits from them. It's benefits from resources. It's benefit for protections and calling on God Almighty and nothing else. No other person, no other being but God Almighty. May God Almighty have mercy on you and protect you and guide you and mend your ways. It says in the Arabic tongue, Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you. And oh, by the way, you are entitled to subscribe to the videos, Lies About God, Alim Muhammad, or Truths About God, Alim Muhammad. And give me, if you want to, a like or a dislike, whatever you choose. Because I'm just doing it to please God Almighty. I'm not trying to put no impression upon a person except to save themselves. Especially the people that I know, the family members, the friends I love, the Muslim, Christians, and Jews. All of you, but especially my Muslim brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum.